Well, hello again. So, what was it? 7 days ago? Well, I guess 8 days ago now. Well, I guess I made the video 2 days in. But yeah, there was this 500 hands in 1 week challenge. And here's a recap. So I want to basically show the ones that I did and kind of go over and talk about my favorite ones, which have the little red dot next to the ones I like. And then I'm going to go to the hashtag on Instagram and take a look at what other people did. A lot of people did some really incredible stuff. I was shocked to see like people actually hitting 500. I'm like, wow. I didn't feel like doing it halfway through, but I did so anyway. Anyway, there were two different hashtags that came out of it: 500 hands and 500 hands challenge. So anyway, yeah, it was pretty crazy. The story is someone was talking about how to get good at hands, and I remember a long time ago, back during Art Center, there was this fella. His name was Steven Zapata. Him and I were doing a bit of a trade. He was showing me how to perform and act like an actor on stage for my presentations in class. You know, the refrigerator just decides to do its thing right when I'm recording. The whole day it wasn't doing that, but now. Anyway, so yeah, and I was challenging my friend Steven to do these little studies to learn how to draw different things. Anyway, we were in Bob Cotto's class. It was Viscom 5, and Bob Cotto had just told us a story of how one of his students wanted to get really good at drawing hands, and so he just got a sketchbook, and in 1 week he just filled it up with hands. Maybe it was more than a week, I don't know. And I remember during the break from that class, I went and bought like a sketchbook. I don't know, it was maybe around that big, and I handed it to Steve. I'm like, look, 1 week from now, fill that up with hands. He was like, okay, all right. And he actually did it. And I think he mentioned earlier when I was watching modern day James' stream, because Stephen was in the chat, he's like, remember, I was the first to do this challenge, and I hit like 900 in a week. I was like, okay, all right. Anyway, and so we were just talking about drawing hands on Discord, on my Patreon Discord. And I just said, okay, let's just do 500. And someone was like, well, are you going to do it? I'm like, no, yeah, fine. And so I did it. Definitely going to do a smaller number next time for the next challenge, which I'll talk about in a moment. Anyway, so here's my first page. Here's the very first one. And I remember, like, as I started it, it was like, yeah, I'm going to let it be bad on purpose. Obviously, the first one, or the first, like, let's say 30 or 40 are going to be kind of like, you're like synchronizing your different, I don't know, mental, I guess measuring and hand-eye coordination, synchronization, and all that stuff. And it's like, if you imagine like those sci-fi movies where they lock onto a target, it's like this kind of crosshairs meeting up to each other. That's what it's sort of like. That's what it feels like, at least. And after like 30 or 40 drawings in, those have synchronized. I don't know what's actually lining up, but anyway. So yeah, I mean, 40. This marks the halfway spot. Of course, he has a top hat. Or no, it's a fedora. Anyway, so the first page I was using just a no opacity brush. Default brushes are in the description. Do I even have to say it anymore? And then I just found a video of somebody playing guitar and would pause it at different parts and draw the hand poses accordingly. And these are not all in order, or they might be in order. Yeah, so I think this is, no wait, that's not the one I recorded for the last video. But yeah, I started using a bigger brush, and at first it was easier, right? Because I could just use, let me just make a new layer. I guess I am going to draw on this video. Command, just bring that layer to the top. Okay. This brush, by the way, I got from Jeremy Fenske's pack that he put together. So let me just type out how that, I think that I'm saying that right. I could be wrong. Sorry, dude. But yeah, he has a brush pack on his Gumroad, and I believe it's free as well. And it has this awesome spongy kind of looking brush. I think I edited it so I could rotate it, which is in the settings. Shape dynamics, pen tilt on. Your pen has to have the function of rotating. I get the question all the time, how do you rotate your brush? Well, the Wacom pen lets you do it for Cintiqs. And I don't know if the Huon brand lets you do that. Anyway, so what was cool about this brush when I was doing this practice is like for each finger I could just make a stroke like this, right? Actually, let's go ahead and it's demo time. All right. For example, I could do 4 of them. I'm just going to do this from memory. It's not, or like, I'm making it up, right? And these are potentially fingers, right? It represents the facets of every finger, and I could put little knuckles on each part. Oh, well, we're almost done. And then here's the thumb, right? And so I could, and by the way, this is something I ended up learning after doing so many. So I've actually improved and picked up a lot of cool new shortcuts from this exercise. And then there's the Theo just told me the name of what this part is of the thumb. But anyway, so those are some cool things that I picked up. Let me just make up a couple more to prove that it's a useful technique. So a bigger brush lets you do bigger strokes. And to kind of just say more with less work. But I think that technique was really good at first, but when I wanted to speed up and do more in less time, and just to see what would happen if I would speed up the process, or if I had to make the hands in limited time. Anyway, that's believable enough, right? Yeah, like for example, these. I've wanted to see, okay, what if I had only like 20 seconds or 25 seconds per hand? What would I have to look at and simplify and reduce the amount of, strokes? So I couldn't really do that technique on these. These are on the iPad, so it's going to look a little bit different. I do like them. Anyway, let's go back to the more chronological. So the red ones, the red dots indicate my favorite ones. And I think something about these really stood out to me, and I really like this one because it kind of shows like a bit of a story, and I believe it was a video of a girl doing a tutorial on how to play a harp, and she was saying which fingers to use in certain things, and there was a lot of really cool tension on this finger being a contact point on the other finger, and that was really cool. I like that. These are, I believe, my hand. I think I definitely got bored with drawing my own hand, so I started Googling. If you just go to Pinterest and type in hands reference, there's so many. And what's cool is if there's like a sheet of reference of somebody doing something with their hand, like, I don't know, pointing and counting, you could take that sheet and then flip it so it doubles the amount of reference that you can use, as if the things are mirrored. I like the simplicity of this one. It kind of has a nice fanning effect of the fingers. That's pretty cool. I like the pinky out. This one was really great. I like the. I don't want to sound like I'm praising my own work, but it's great because I picked up so much from it. And you know what? No, I did a good job here. I don't care what you say. But the silhouette and the shape language is working pretty cool. So this negative space, that little dip that happens there, when you're painting, those are the little important things that really make a difference in your piece. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about these, but I like them. Now this is an example I started to actually blend in and render the shadows and the light. I believe this was my hand. And I could tell like what time of day I drew this in because it was at night. So there's only one light source, and it was the monitor. And so there was a very specific light that was hitting it. Yeah. Classic hand unsheathing a sword. But this is really good for me because now when I go to paint, I now have the confidence of well, I had a little bit, but it's definitely strengthened and solidified now, of minimal strokes to get, you go with the big strokes first and the small outlining strokes after. And then this subtle stuff happening here, because this looks like it's very painterly, and that's kind of like that charcoal approach where you're doing big to small, and you're kind of value grouping effectively there. This is cool. I think I did that as a demo for someone. Yeah, it was Matt. Fist. And all of them tell a bit of their own story. Like, there's the clenched fist, there's the two hands touching, there's this was a photo of somebody with their hands behind their back. That was pretty cool. There's a ton of really good like stock photography on not just Pinterest but also DeviantArt. I know DeviantArt's kind of, you go to the front page and there's all those inflated characters and the ponies, but if you dig deep enough, there's some really cool reference packs. Anyway, so now the next page. Now this top right corner is the only part that I did traditionally. I just didn't have my iPad lost battery, and I was traveling, so I didn't have my computer. Yeah, this is the iPad drawings, and I definitely really like this one. There's a kind of old school style quality to it where, I don't know, like not ignoring the little bumps that happen because of the veins in the hands, as well as the bones and stuff. Obviously, it's not super accurate, but somewhat stylized. Sip of the coffee. What else we got? Oh, this is a really good one too. I like that. There's a lot of really bad ones, and we'll get to those in a moment. Like ones that I just got lazy and I wasn't actually measuring where things were supposed to be lining up. This one's cool because it simplified the, let's say the impression of a fist, and it's really like this kind of shadow shape and this ninja star twirly thing that happens when you make a fist, which is so complicated to figure out at first. Again, more simplification. This one's very loose, but obviously I stretched out the fingers to be a bit more like their evil kind of creature kind of thing. So yeah, very few strokes, but has all the information you need, especially for a sketch. And I would love to see, well, this could totally be a style for like a comic or graphic novel. What else we got here? So back to the bigger ones. Oh, I think this is the one where I recorded it for last video. So if you want to see the process of those, they were certainly in my last video. And then it was down to D-Day. I had to do, I think, 201 day. So I was like, I don't have time to do these nice rendered ones anymore. And I was just doing these like 10, 15 second impressions of hands, which are still valid. They, the challenge is 500 hands, not 500 masterpieces. Oh, so this, I really like that one because I chose to not put, I guess in the moment, I chose not to put the lines for the other fingers, and that impression of the hand is really nice to look at because it kind of groups the value of these three fingers together ahead of time for painting. This is fun. I'm not going to sit here and talk about all of them, but yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's my 500. You're willing to count them, or you're welcome to count them to say, hey, you actually are down by 30 or something, and I'll make them up. But I'm pretty sure, because I hit 504 if I counted correctly, and I think they're all here. If not, then they're somewhere else, but they're somewhere. Anyway, let's take a look at the ones that other people did. By the way, if you do want like a closer look at the ones I have, they're on my Instagram. My friend Danielle, she mentioned that these would be cool as a print, so I might take like my favorite ones and compile them and make them into a print for like the 500 hands challenge print. What do we got here? So yeah, look at these people actually doing them. Seb draws. Nice. Day 4. Look at that. That's a lot of rendering. Very nice. This one's Cosmics, but she's great. Yana, like she has a lovely portfolio of artwork. She does a lot of traditional stuff like watercolor and all that fun stuff. Met her up in Toronto. Lovely person. Obviously, she's got some great hands. The style. What's cool is the stylization, I guess, variants that you see in all the people's drawings. Whoa. What happened there? Cool. All right. Good stuff. Whoop. Oh, breaking down the segments of the fingers. It's smart. Right on. Lexi. Yeah, she did a great job. She does. Can we see her final? I'm pretty sure she hit 500. Maybe it's on Discord. Challenge submissions. Oh, Yeno, he also partook in this. Very round and bubbly. I like that style. It's really unique. Yeah, I think here's Lexi's final page. Very expressive compared to her first page. So yeah, you could tell like at first it's very stiff and kind of rigid, but as you go to look at this one, definitely more confident and loosened up. Very expressive, you know, like with the fingers. Nice. Who is that? Oh, Ota. Yeah, she's from Japan, doing some awesome stuff. You can kind of tell like the different influences depending on where the artists are in the world. Certainly like a manga influence here. Lovely. She's great. She's new on the Patreon. Oh, well, we're on the Discord. Let's go back to Instagram. That's me. I obviously can't go through all of them, so if I miss you, then sorry. Nice. 20 hands. Ooh. 37 hands here. I'm really glad to see people actually doing it. First it was like just for a couple people, then a bunch of people hopped on board. Okay. Nice. Pat. Mr. Pat Mast. Oh, that's all of them. Oh my god. They look like an animation reel of hands going in the full motions. Oh, whoops. Okay. Hi, hello. Casper? Oh, really cool. This looks like something that you'd find on Pinterest when you Google hand art. Oh, that's the only piece of art. Okay, cool. Still very nice. Oh, that's something I didn't think of doing more of actually like pressing into objects. Whether that was like a block of wood or whatever. Oishi art. Oh, a wireframe. That's good. That probably helps with understanding the form of the fingers, the sausages. Many, many hands. Very nice. Might I recommend slow down if you're watching this. A little bit more careful strokes. Oh yeah, more traditional. Oh, that's mileage. Very good. Oh man, there's so many. Ooh. Kachun-chan. I think the first to hit 500 was Theo. I'll have to find him in a moment. Oh, I guess. Oh, it's like a whole bunch of. Cause I know you posted more close-up ones. Oh yeah, so you were the first, or who I was looking at earlier. What are we here? Cool. Yep. That kind of smudged look approach, like with the smudged pencil look. Oh, by the way, I have this cool app. I think it's called Image Toolbar, and it lets you save by clicking. Like if I wanted to save this into my fantasy art folder, like my Magic the Gathering influence or whatever, click that, automatically saves. And I'm really into grills, like what's it called? Like different, like George Foreman grill, charcoal grills, you know, what stuff like that. So oh, cool. There's a lot of good artists out here. I'll click whatever stands out to me. Isn't that Lexi? No, that's C, because it was the yellow paper or yellow light. Sealgi. Oh, hands together. That's always a good one. Like clapping or holding something or shaking hands. There's too many. That's too many. But that's great. Ooh, that's interesting. Snow Jay. Oh, I love that. That is really good. Something about the simplicity. Ooh, the shape design and the negative space between the little, right there. That is the good stuff. Dude, nice stuff. Bird. Cool. Dude, it's just... it'd be cool to compile all of them onto one big sheet, but ain't nobody got time for that. Ooh, yeah. That foreshortened thumb thing is so hard to do sometimes because you got to get the shape right of the... Sorry, the mic's in the way. Of the thumb. Because is it just a circle? Is it an oval? Is there a flat side? And it's different for different hands, so... Yeah. Uh-huh. Nice. Oh, that looks good. Who dat? Oh. I already saw. Repeat offender. How dare you? Oh my God. So many. Oh, these are cool. Kind of rough. Stylized. Mr. Brent Bly. Brent Bly. Ha, goblin. Nice, keep going. Keep going, my dudes. Oh yeah, I drew... This one's mine. These are monkey hands. I was watching a video of a little monkey eating a banana. I'm just pausing it and trying to do that. Monkey hands are a good reference, like gorillas and whatnot, chimpanzees. Chimpanzees are terrifying. Calm Ryu. Does that mean dragon? Calm dragon? Okay, okay. Zymon Pasik. I like the breakdown of the 3D shapes there and the abstract character. I feel like I'm speaking so mellow right now. Joshua, yeah, I think I featured this one already on my Instagram story, which I may or may not do more of. Let's take a look at the other hashtag. There were some other ones here. Is that Yeno? Who is this? No. I saw the little bit of the bubbly fingers, so I thought it was the other person. Hoshan. Oh, I'm already following you. Yep. Nice. We're about to wrap this up in a moment. Ooh. Oh yeah, this person just messaged me with their work, a whole layout of all of them. Wait, what's your name? Mert. Sorry, I'm not laughing at your name. Marion. I think a handful of, oh god damn it. A handful of people have stated that they were really afraid to draw hands and they've been avoiding it and all that stuff. So this was a good challenge for them to break out of that and develop a little bit more confidence and a bit of exposure to actually just doing it and jumping right in. And what's really, I guess, one takeaway for me is when you do it as a challenge, especially with the number. I'm in my chair. I have a stand-up desk now. All right, so when you have a challenge with a number, it's not really about trying to make the first few good. You know, you don't have that pressure or anxiety of, oh, the first page has to be amazing and people are going to see it. This is what they're going to judge me by, or it has to be good. It's like that's out the window. You're like, okay, well, it doesn't matter how the first few look. Obviously, they're not going to be perfect. And with everyone who hit 500 or a big number, the last pages are obviously better. And so that's like a testament to hopefully give a bit of faith to say, if you just jump into it, do a whole bunch of it, the later ones will be better, scientifically speaking. So, you know, there's that. Which brings the next question. All right, I have to look at the yellow ones because they're the only yellow ones. Oh, they're cool. They're like stylized, but it still has the right information. That kind of square cut off of the fingers. Mosca domestica. Michella. Lovely. Ooh, what is this? Oh, someone else's. Cool stuff. Anyway, what's really great about it is the challenge. So where was I going with this? Which begs the question, what is the next challenge? Well, I can't really do one right now because I'm heading to Asia in 2 days again for the 7th time this year? 6th? I don't know, 5th, something like that. But I do have a list that I'm writing out. Let's go ahead and this takes away the anxiety. Potential challenges. Sure, we could do like an anatomy one, like heads or feet or legs or whatever. But also, I think taking it a little bit further is a bit more of me thinking about what are my weaknesses that I want to work on and put mileage into. So 100 tiny finished paintings that looked finished when they were zoomed out. So they'd be like little thumbnails, because I have a hard time having a complete looking image. And usually you should think of it this way if you want to be good at painting. Doing the thumbnail should have all the information there, and all you have to do is zoom in a little bit at a time and start refining things, as opposed to starting out way zoomed in. That's a helicopter above. So for me, I think that's a weakness that I might do. And by 100, I mean, it could be 10 a day or 7 a day or 5 a day. They're just kind of arbitrary numbers at this point. I think I would have to actually sit down and do whatever the theme is for 2 hours or maybe 3 hours. And however much that yields, I'll make that the number. 100 concepts with new ideas each. That's relating to the first. 100 fantasy characters, 100 steampunk characters, cyberpunk, fantasy, 100 portraits, a portrait a day. Don't be overly attached to how something will be perceived. Instead, treat it like another expression of natural expression. These are just, I wasn't planning on showing this, but yeah, it's just kind of taking notes. This is a bit irrelevant. It's kind of irrelevant. Someone was asking questions about portfolios earlier. So I might talk about that for a moment. Your portfolio ought to be a result of you challenging yourself in a particular direction. All right, so it is related. If you're doing a portfolio, oftentimes it's like, okay, what do the companies want to see? What do I put in my portfolio? How many sketches? Blah, blah, blah. Sure, there's, like ideal numbers, and I've covered this in my, not in terms of my ideal numbers, but I've covered the idea of what to put in your portfolio for character art, depending on which you want to do in a different video. I might make more portfolio videos. I don't know. But yeah, so I think a better way to think about it is your portfolio should be a reflection of you pursuing a challenge. Now, with this hands challenge, it's like if my portfolio, maybe I'm trying to get hired to draw hands, I wouldn't be like, okay, I have to make a portfolio by tomorrow or next week. Let me do a page of hands and let that be my portfolio, which would be the first page. But if I allow it to be a challenge of actually putting in time and exploration and investing creative effort, that's me. That's when you look at the whole page of, this whole page of them, and pick out the favorite ones. And those become the portfolio pieces. And what's cool is like there was far less pressure to make them look good down here as I was doing them. And so I think your portfolio should also reflect that, because if you're too bogged down by pressure and anxiety, you're not going to perform your best. So pursuing a challenge of something like, it doesn't have to be like 100 fantasy characters, but let's say 5 new characters a day towards the world building that you want to choose. For example, I don't know, a Marvel type movie where you design the costumes, or a Skyrim type game where you design a bunch of characters, including lead characters, NPCs, or whatever. And you challenge yourself just to make a certain amount a day or a week or something like that. That way you can look at all of them and say, okay, well, here are the ones that best reflect my capabilities. Those become your portfolio. Rather than, I need 5 characters, let me draw 5 characters. It's like, if you need 5 characters, draw 100 and pick your best 5. I mean, that might be unrealistically approaching it, but as shown with this hand exercise as a challenge, there is a benefit to putting in mileage this way. So. But yeah, so once I get back from Asia in a few weeks, now I could do it while I'm there, but I'll be with family, kind of showing them around, so I might be busy. By the way, you don't need me to set up a challenge for you. I mean, it is fun that when a whole bunch of people are doing it, but you for yourself, be like, well, I really like creatures, and I want to do like a portfolio of fantasy creatures. Let's start collecting reference and challenge myself to do 5 creatures a day. Whatever that is, go for it. Anyway, so I don't have much to say. Takes the pressure off, making good. Whoops. Control Z. All right, so that was fun. Glad I did it, and I hope it inspired. Well, it did inspire a handful of people. God, I just punned again. Anyway, be sure to, have fun when you're doing your art. So I forget. I don't know how to end these videos. You know, it's been a while. I don't know. Am I a YouTuber? I don't know. It's like, I don't want to be. It's like, it's just a title, right? Oh, you make videos? Are you a YouTuber? Are you a YouTuber when you have enough subscribers? What is that even? All right. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you next time.